Hello there, Libras. This is Sherry Simpson coming to you, and I am a transformational life coach. I do past life work in the Akashic Records. I help people release old karma, old generational patterns into the DNA, and I do tarot readings for people who are looking to expand and step into passion and purpose. I also do some work with medical intuition, and I help people in all sorts of ways. I often attract light workers who don't know that they're light workers yet. So today I am here to connect with you, Libra, and see what it is that you need for February 15th through to the end of the month. The way that I've been doing these readings is to connect in with all four of your bodies. So I believe that we have a physical body, that we're here, we have signs and symptoms in our physical bodies, and that we're a human egoic self in a physical body. I also believe that we are connected to a source, and that we are connected to past lives, and that we are connected to our inner self. I believe that we have thoughts, so I work with the mental body, and our thoughts repeat and create our beliefs, and that's how we act in the world, is based on what we believe in and what we think. And I also believe that we have an emotional body where we act on our emotions, or we hide them and store them, some of us. And we have the spiritual body, which is the inner self. So all four bodies. So what I do in these readings is I pull four cards, one for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual guidance, and see what we come up with. So while I was meditating on your energy, this one wants to come out as number one. As I was meditating on your energy, I was thinking of the lovely Libras that I know, and how you often present yourself as being very capable. All of the Libras I know, you're very capable. You come across as being very confident. You come across as being very knowledgeable. Knowledgeable not just in a work sense, but knowledgeable in many areas. And I have this belief about you that people see you this way. People see you as being confident. People see you as being capable. So you may realize that people ask you for things, that people want money from you, that people want your time, and that's because you come across as being very capable and very confident. And I think that you like that. But I also think that there are ways that you overgive to people, and you don't necessarily tell them, no, I can't do that. No, I don't have time. And so you coming into a place of new beginnings now, as we're stepping into the new moon, that is now in February 15th, February 16th, and the eclipse about endings. We're ending an eclipse cycle that started back around the year 2000. So if you think back to February of 2000, which was 18 years ago, what were you conflicted about then? What were you learning? What was your situation back then? Because that energy is now coming about, and we're ending that eclipse season, and now we're moving into a new beginning as we go through 2018. We're now building up over the next 6 months or so what it is that we want to achieve and create and bring into the world. So if you're ending the stuff that began or had the same energy of in 2000, now you have a chance to create anew. So if you are coming across as being overconfident and overabundant, and people are taking advantage, then make sure that you adjust that if that's something that you want to do. One thing that's been interesting in my interactions with Libra, I'm not an astrologer, and my main sign is not Libra. So I have been ruminating on your energy and connecting with the knowledge that I have from the friends and loved ones that I have that are Libras, and calling in guidance from through my spirit guide team with your spirit guide team to provide you with this reading. So one of the things that I have found in the Libras that I've interacted with is that many of you are so good on the career front, but when it comes to relationships, it's as though maybe you're not as confident, or maybe you believe relationships should be a different way, and this is where your scales come in. Are you balancing work and relationships? Are you balancing your relationship with yourself, with the relationship with others? Are you being so confident in a career sense or in a personal sense that people in your emotional space or your relationship space are actually not connecting with you? So maybe you're not getting the love and nourishment on a physical nature that you need because you're coming across as though you don't need it. So paying attention to that, we're ending a cycle and we're beginning a cycle. And we're doing that now as we are ending the eclipse season, and as we are doing that moving into this new moon. This is a very big new moon, and it's the only moon in February. There are no full moons in February. All we have this month is a new moon, and they call that a black moon when there's only one moon in a month. We just came from 3 super moons in a row, and we just came through a blue moon. This is considered a black moon. And so your first card, your physical card, is reach out. So it's very interesting that I was ruminating on that kind of energy about your personal relationship. So possibly you're feeling that you're not connected to your personal relationships the same way, that maybe people have forgotten about you. Maybe they are not connecting with you in the way that you want them to. And I get the sense that it's time for you to reach out with your personal relationships if you have not, the same way you would in your career. So can you have and lead with that same confidence and that same openness and that same capacity and capability, but connect in more with your closest relationships? So 3 is your personal power, your solar plexus chakra. I know you have that when it comes to your businesses, when it comes to your jobs, when it comes to your careers. But do you have that in your relationships? Are you leading in that way? Are you leading in that way of what I give out is what I receive? Are you leading in that way of I'm speaking in this way and I expect to be spoken to in that way? Or are you reaching out in your relationships the same way that you are reaching with yourself? Are you reaching and communicating with yourself from this place of love and nourishment and kindness and capacity and whatever it is that you expect to receive from others? Are you receiving that back? Or are you, or have you been physically not connecting with your closest relationships and then feeling like, well, maybe people don't want to hear from me. Maybe they don't love me anymore. Maybe I've done something wrong. And I don't think it's that at all. I think it's just that people are busy and people see you as capable and people see you as busy and people see you as confident and people see you as very career driven. So some people may not want to bother you in that way because they feel like you're busy creating legacies. You're busy doing all of those wonderful things that you do in your career that maybe they're seeing you as thinking that your closest relationships aren't as important, or that they're busy trying to get their ducks in a row as well. So I get the sense that on a physical, like in a physical way, in a physical, like your physical nature, it's time to reach out in a different way. So if you're looking to create different relationships, then interact differently with the people who are closest to you. I'm also getting the sense that you're very creative. Libras are always very creative, but they don't necessarily use that creativity in the relationships. So you may use it in your career and you may use it for things on a physical nature, like scrapbooking, like canning, like doing things like that, but you may not actually use it in your relationships. And I get the sense that that's important to you. And maybe it hasn't been something that you've been doing, and maybe you can actually bring creativity into your closest relationship so that you're tying that area of the sacral chakra, which is your creativity and your closest relationships, in to that confident place, that number 3 place, that self-empowerment place, so that you can build relationships in a more nurturing and different way than you have in the past. So allowing yourself to create physical relationships, and I don't just mean with like a physical partner, like a love partner. I mean like with family members and with friends and with colleagues and with neighbors. Are you feeling nourished and confident in those relationships? Are there some of them that you are maintaining that need to go as we end this eclipse season and create new space to bring some new relationships in? Let's see what the next card will bring for you. So the next card I'm going to pull is about your thoughts and beliefs about what is going on at this time and what it is that maybe needs to change or what it is that needs to shift. So Libra, what are your thoughts and beliefs, and how is that impacting you? It's that card that wants to come out. Interesting. So the card that came up was joy and stability, but it came up in reverse. So this card, I'm using John Holland's Psychic Tarot deck for the heart cards. The back of his cards look like this. It's a very wonderful deck. They're very colorful. So this being in reverse makes me think that you with your scales are certainly looking for a balance in your confidence in different ways. So this card being in reverse means to me that you don't necessarily have the joy and stability in all areas of your life. This 4 is a box for me. So when I think about a 4, I almost think of the box being around this heart center. And I know this isn't necessarily a heart card. This is a card that tells me about your personal power and your confidence and your strength. And this orange color brings in that creativity and that personal relationships. And this area around it is you tapping into your intuition and reading that intuition, bringing that into that creativity and that confidence in order to build that 4 square to bring the joy and stability to you that you need. So if you have not been doing this, then is it your thoughts and beliefs about your relationships, about your friends, about how people see you, about what people are saying and thinking about you that are actually preventing you from creating the joy and stability in your life that you desire, that you deserve, that you're worthy of, that you've been longing for? I get the sense that some of you have created such a stable work life that you've spent so much time doing that your closer relationships have fallen away slightly. And so people are just feeling like you're capable and you're confident and that you don't need them in a way. And they've stopped asking you for things, maybe because you've been spending so much time getting your career exactly to where you want it, or thriving in that area. Your career might not actually be where you want it because that's tied into the joy and stability that you may not feel like you have right now. So you may have an important career, an important thing that you're doing in society, but it may not be a creative, heart-centered, intuitive thing, and it may not be exactly what it is that you're purposeful and passionate about at this time. So that could be tied into partly what it is that you're releasing and allowing yourself to co-create with your source and with your higher self and with your intuition as you move through the next 6 months. What about the 4? The 4 I see as being a box here around the heart. And I like to think of the 4 as being balanced on all 4 sides. So if the top of the square is nice and balanced, then you're open to receiving your vital source energy. You're open to connecting in to your own intuition and guidance, and you're capable of speaking your truth about those things. So you're balanced here. If you are balanced in giving, then the right side of you is also balanced. And so this side of the square, which is your right side, masculine, dominant, giving side, is very balanced and very square. On this side, which is your left, emotional, female, receiving side, if that side is balanced, then you have 3 sections of the square that are balanced. And then if you're balanced on the bottom side, which is you have enough money to survive, you're being creative, you're connecting in with your closest relationships, and you're very confident, then that means that all 4 squares that surround your heart are very balanced. And so if that is not true for you right now, then you're not going to experience the joy and stability that you want. So check in with yourself, reach out to others for help, reach out to each other, to your closest community for connection. Maybe you just need to hang out with your friends a little bit more, or maybe you need to go to different places and connecting with different groups, because maybe you're actually hanging out with the same kind of people, and it's creating an imbalance for you because your growth is stunted and you want to expand and grow in a different way, and you can't do that until you reach out and do something different. So if you are not feeling square, so what happens with our squareness here, the way I envision it is that if you're overgiving and not allowing yourself to receive, then you have this weird triangle that creates here over the heart center instead of a square. Or if you're really open to the thinking and the logical and the connected to the higher self, but you're not allowing yourself to bring that stuff into the physical, then you're actually a triangle this way. And if you're not giving any longer, but you're receiving and receiving and receiving, then you have a triangle this way instead of a square. So the idea of creating balance, which I know the Libra is about scales, the Libra is about balancing career and love and relationships and money and all of those things. But unless those things are all square and you're feeling like you're giving as much as you're receiving, and you're feeling like your work life and your home life is balanced, and you're feeling like your relationships are all balanced, then you're not going to have that joy and stability. So check in with your thoughts and beliefs to see if your thoughts and beliefs are actually preventing you from creating what it is you desire. So my belief in the law of attraction and a manifestation and all the things I teach is that we receive what we give. And I like to think of the universe as a puppy. Most of the Libras that I know adore dogs, and you love the sense that a dog loves unconditionally. And I think that you have a sense of giving and loving unconditionally, but you may not receive that back. Check in to see if that's a belief that you have, that it's okay for you to give unconditionally, but is it okay for you to receive unconditionally? Is there any judgment of yourself or judgment of others that happens that's a thought and belief? Are you carrying old thoughts and beliefs around that are actually from your parents or from society or from teachers that have been ingrained in you, that you have to do a certain thing in order to be loved, or that you have to act a certain way in order to deserve receiving something? See if any of those thought patterns need to change, because that may be preventing you from receiving the joy and stability that you so desire, that you so deserve. Let me stay here on my arm stand up, so there's something to that. I like that this was a 3 and this is a 4, so we'll see what the next card is. The next card is about emotion. So what is it that Libras need to know right now about emotion? I get the sense that some of you are feeling a little wonky in your solar plexus area. So if you haven't been breathing, I want you to think about taking a big inhale and exhale away what's not yours and what's not serving you. You exhale through an open mouth that allows you to exhale out even quicker. So inhaling through your nose, Holding onto that space, exhaling what you don't need, holding onto that space, inhale, exhale what you don't need. Okay, so as you inhale, I want you to think about bringing in what it is you desire, bringing in what it is you deserve, bringing in what it is that you want. So if you want to reach out to a different crowd of people, then inhale the qualities of those people that you want to attract and bring to you. If you want more joy and stability, then inhale what that looks like. And we're going to inhale what that feels like as well. So is that love? Is it unconditional love? Is it fun? Is it freedom? Is it kindness? Is it success? Is it recognition? Is it all of those things? Is it any of those things? And allow yourself to breathe in that. But I do get the sense that you're not necessarily breathing, so you're holding on to things. As we are ending this eclipse season, you can breathe out what it is you don't need, and you're going to inhale in as we start this new moon, a new beginning, what it is you want. And that is going to manifest and grow as we move into the spring and as we move over the next 3 to 6 months. So let's tap into your emotions. Emotionally, what is going on with you, Libra? And where can we give you some guidance moving forward? I get the sense that you might be a little bit nervous about what card is coming out here. Maybe emotions have been strong for you lately. Maybe you've been holding some in. Maybe it hasn't been safe to be emotional. Exhaling out what's not yours and exhaling out what is not serving you. Creating space and then filling that space with something new, something different, something you. Something that you've been longing for, something that you've been desiring. That's it right there. Challenging times. All right, so possibly you've been feeling that the emotions recently have been challenging. And from what I know about the Libras in my life, probably the last 2 years have been a little challenging for you. So 5 is about transformations. So the challenging times, this fella in this card, he looks extremely capable of handling whatever it is. So I know that you are extremely capable and you are very strong and you are very confident. And I know that you're very confident in that work sense and that career sense. And I know that you can be confident in relationships as well. And I think that you've been transforming that, and you've been transforming. This is funny because this is a 5 card. So did I not mention that earlier, that I thought it was funny that we had a 3 and we had a 4 and now we have a 5? It'd be even more interesting if we pull 6 next. So I want you to trust that whatever challenging times have been before you, this eclipse season can end that for you and you can create that new beginning. So if emotions have been challenging, I want you to check into whether you've been storing them, whether the emotions that you've been storing are actually yours. Because a lot of times, many of us are empathic. Many of us actually take on emotions just like we take on other people's shoulds. We take on a lot of things that are not ours. So in a way, we enable people by doing things for them rather than helping them. And we think we're helping, and we're doing it from this nourishing, kind, loving place. But we're actually challenging other people because we're allowing them to stay stuck, because we're taking care of them rather than allowing them to take care of themselves. But we're also challenging ourselves because in a way, I get the sense that perhaps you've been, how do I word this? How do I articulate this? Perhaps you have been going through challenging times, but taking the emotions associated with them and almost like putting them in a filing system And in that filing system, it's as though some of them you're like, meh, I'll deal with those later. I'll just file those away. Those aren't mine. That's okay. And so you need to go through those emotions if you're ready, because you have free will and you decide when you're ready. You need to get rid of the ones that don't belong to you. So if that means giving them back to people, then that's okay. I'm getting the picture of a donkey or a pack mule, so perhaps you've been carrying around other people's stuff. So take off the packs that the mule's wearing, and know that the ones that you take off are not yours, and that when you give them back to other people, that they're capable of handling them. And if you've been storing emotions of your own that you have not been dealing with, then I want you to just give yourself some space, maybe over this weekend or whenever you're watching this. Give yourself some space to actually feel them and then release them. The cool thing about the law of attraction and the law of manifestation and co-creation and choosing, because we have free will, we choose everything. Things don't just come at us. We're actually attracting things in this life. We're co-creating with our intuitive self and with our highest self what it is we attract. And so we attract things based on our thoughts and our beliefs, which were created when we were little, and we attract things based on how we feel. So if we feel that we're really good at career, but we suck at relationships, then we're going to continue bringing us relationships that suck. And if that means that you're storing the emotions associated with relationships that suck, then maybe that means that you actually have this whole huge, big, ugly file folder filled of emotions that you don't want to feel. Allow yourself to feel them, and then allow yourself to release them. Because you don't need to be stuck in those feelings. You don't need to carry stuff that's not yours. And I know everything isn't going to be love and happy and Barbies and unicorns and rainbows all the time. That's not why we're here on this human place. We're here to feel and experience and choose the whole gamut of things, but we don't need to be stuck forever in a certain place. We can feel things and experience them and express them and then release them. The other thing that's coming up for me is about when people say things like, "You're making me angry." It's not true, because other people, they can't make us feel something. They can't make us do things. If somebody says, "I'm going to make you jump off that bridge," it's not true. They can't make you feel angry. They can't make you do things. You always have a choice to feel or to do what it is that you choose, because you have free will. So you have been choosing to stay in challenging times if that's what you've been doing. And that means that you can choose to feel those things, to allow those emotions to move through you, to release what's not yours, to release what's no longer serving you, to thank your past for those challenging times, because that is what actually builds us and expands us. It's those hard, oh, that's just making the hair on my arm stand up. It's those times of depression and sadness and anger and all of those lower emotions that actually allow us to grow. And then that actually brings us more into that point of I know what that feels like now, and I know that I can experience more of that if I choose, but now I'm going to choose something else. So allowing yourself to move through and transform using a lot of self-love, because look at that pink in there. It's a lot of self-love, and this purple in here is about your inner guidance and about your intuition and about you having the strength to pull what it is that you want forward. And I know this is the emotion card, and with the emotion card, you're going to dig deep. You probably have been, because the 5 is about transformation, and you're probably ready to to be done digging. You've probably been doing a lot of heart-centered stuff and a lot of self-care and a lot of self-love and a lot of releasing the past and a lot of releasing emotions. And you're probably like, am I done yet? And my sense of that is yes. You've been through emotionally challenging times. You've done a lot of the self-love, and you're going to have to continue doing that, and you're going to do it with your own intuition and guidance. And now you're ready to choose what you want to experience. You're ready to choose what you want to co-create. You're ready to reach out to a different group. You're ready to reach out and create a balance so that you can have joy and stability in different ways in life that you may not have ever had before. Yeah, you're ready for that to be done. So when you exhale things, when you release these challenging times, when you've gone through this transformation, and I told another sign this, I think I told Cancer this. One of the most important things is to change our vibration so that we're now attracting something different than what we got rid of. Because if you're still attracting the emotion of challenging things, the emotion of anger, the emotion of resentment or obligation or guilt or whatever it is that was so challenging, then if you haven't changed what it is that you're focusing on, if you haven't changed what it is that you're feeling within, if you haven't changed that sense of loving yourself and expanding yourself and knowing yourself, then you're going to continue to attract the challenging times and challenging emotions because you haven't changed the dial to be at a different frequency. And I like to use the country and classical music stations here as an example. So if challenging times and challenging emotions were set at the country music station, when you release all of those things and when you go through all of this transformation, when you go through all of this stuff, then you need to change the channel so that you're actually attracting a different frequency. So then you can attract on a new frequency what is a match to the classical music station and bringing more of that into your life. Let's see what your spiritual guidance is this month. So what does Spirit want to share with Libra about the changes and challenges and transformations? It was that card that wanted to come out. Clarity of belief. All right. So this one has come out a few times recently as well. It's interesting how the same like 15 cards keep coming out of the deck, even though it's a full deck. So this card came up in reverse. This card is the number 1 card, and number 1 is that new moon that we're going through. This is this new, we're moving into spring, we're moving into the new moon, we're moving into a chance to build and grow in a different way, new beginnings. So with this clarity of belief, it makes me think that you don't necessarily have clarity on what it is that you want. Maybe you don't have the clarity in believing that you can have what you want, so you're creating a lack of clarity on that belief because you don't know if you deserve it, you don't know if you're worthy of it, you don't know if you can have it, you don't know what it looks like or what it feels like. So reach out to others and maybe ask some questions about what it is that they love and desire, about how they create more balanced lives, about how they serve people in a different way. So maybe that reaching out is about a questioning period for you. Maybe the joy and stability is something that is currently elusive. Maybe you need to do some visualization or some journaling on exactly what it is that you want. Because as soon as you get clarity on what it is that you want, you're going to be able to bring it to you lightning fast. But until you get the clarity on what it is that you want, you're going to continue staying stuck in that time of challenging emotions because you're not clear on what it is that you want to bring in. So can you get out of your head? A lot of Libras, I find, are not necessarily in your heart. you're very abundant in your work life, and you're very abundant in your relationships as well. But maybe you're not actually clear on what it is that you want now. Maybe you're not clear on what it is that you want to bring in for the rest of this year or for the next 10 years, because what we're bringing in now is going to be this big new transformation that we're going to be moving through. It's almost like we're creating a brand new decade. So because this eclipse is closing what began back in 2000, and that was 18 years ago. It's as though we're moving onto a new slate that's going to be moving us forward for another big amount of time. So what is it that you want? What is it, if you step out of your head and allow yourself to drop into your heart, what is it that you want? What is it that you deserve? What is it that you want to give and receive? So when this card is in reverse, I get the sense that this gentleman in this card is actually sending his hand back in time, as though he is transforming some of the decisions that have been made in the past. So if you have not forgiven yourself for things that you did, or situations that happened, or relationships that existed way back when, make sure you're doing that, because we can get stuck in, well, if it happened in the past, it can happen in the future. And that's that thought and belief pattern. And we can get stuck in that, oh, but I've been hurt this many times, and this person hurt me, and that person hurt me, and I don't want that to happen again. And so if you clarify your belief and really believe that my past was only a learning experience and I don't need to repeat it, then you can send some love back there. And I love that this card too has a whole bunch of pink here, and I love that this here is in the shape of a heart. And the way that I'm reading this, the heart is actually going back in the past. So it's as though he's putting one hand over the heart, and he's sending love, and he's sending forgiveness into the past. Well, once he does that, and once he releases all of those things, and once he stops enabling people from the past, so I don't know if that's something that you've been doing, but perhaps you have been loving people from a place of enabling versus helping. Many of us have been doing that, and many of us are now learning that other people are capable, that we're capable, that we've been through so many things up until this point that we're now capable. So I want you to send some love and some forgiveness into the past, and some transformation into the past. And as you do that, begin the visualization and begin the opening and allowing of even more clarity, because I get the sense you've already been doing this a lot, but you're still formulating or doing a little bit of a dance, still in that sort of challenging time transformation dance, about what it is that you truly want to bring into the now and into your future. Because basically you're creating your future right now based on what you think and believe and what you feel. So I mentioned the dog thing. I mentioned that I like to see the universe as a puppy. And I see the universe as a puppy because the universe doesn't understand. If your universe is a puppy, it doesn't understand verbal commands. So you can't say, I want this, because the universe doesn't understand that. So if you're saying, I want a red Jeep, the universe doesn't understand I want a red Jeep. And the universe doesn't understand hand commands like a puppy would. So your puppy only understands emotion. So clarifying the emotions, which may be part of the challenge for you, clarifying the emotions that you want to feel now, allowing yourself to do as many things in the now that you want to feel in the future. So how do I clarify that for you? Because the universe is a puppy and it brings you your emotions. So the universe brings you what you feel. Your puppy is going to bring you more things that you feel. If your clarity is, I want a red Jeep, then you're going to ask yourself emotionally, how do I get a red Jeep into my life? And so if you're speaking to this puppy and you're trying to create a red Jeep as a manifestation in this life, then what does a red Jeep mean to you? What does a red Jeep feel like? Is it success? Is it safety? Is it adventure? Is it fun? Is it ruggedness? Is it travel? What is it? What kind of emotion is it? What does it evoke in you? So if you have a red Jeep sitting in your driveway all of a sudden, what is it? Is it excitement? Is it what is it? Feeling more of those things now and being clear on what it is that you want to feel, that feeling is going to be a match in your puppy. Your universe, the one that you're training with your emotions, is going to begin bringing you things that match whatever the emotions are. So if you truly believe that a red Jeep is about freedom, adventure, and success, and you feel free, adventurous, and successful now, then that puppy is going to bring you a red Jeep and a whole bunch of other things that match to freedom, adventure, and success. And as soon as you believe that you can do that through emotion, as soon as you are clear on what emotions you want to feel now and what emotions are in your future that map to what you want your future to look like, then you create that new beginning. You create that belief that you can have what you want. You create that belief on you deserve what you want. And yes, you're going to need to reach out to other people, because even though I know that you are capable and confident that you could do all of this as your own independent self, you want to reach out and ask for help if you need it, because you're not a silo and you don't need to be. You're going to see where you are not stable and bring more joy and stability in by balancing things within your life that aren't balanced now. And one of the ways that you can tap into that is by seeing the people and the situations and the relationships in your life right now as a mirror. So if you go to the grocery store and the things that you want are never there, then are you in a place that I never find what I want? And so the puppy is going to make sure that the things that you want are not in existence, because you always feel like the things that you desire or deserve are never there. So you're not creating a stability and you're not creating that joy because you have the thoughts and emotions around the mirrors are actually telling you that your thoughts and emotions are around, I never get what I want. I never achieve what I desire. I never have. And so the universe is saying, okay, you never have what you desire. The things that you want are never here in the present. They're always in the future, or they're always in the past. So you're just never going to receive them. So paying attention to whether your thoughts and beliefs and emotions are actually stable, and whether you believe that you can have all of the things that you want. And then stepping into that heart, getting out of your head if you've been thinking things, and allow yourself to feel, to pass through those challenging times, because I believe that they're pretty much done for you. You're done being challenged. It's just clarifying those beliefs, knowing that you can have what you want, and stepping into that place of feeling what it is that you're going to bring into the now in order to bring your future to you. And what that means for you, Libra, is that you're actually becoming a different person. So the person that you are right now is not the person that you were in the past. And the person that you are right now is not the person that's going to create the future, because you're not that person yet, or else you'd be in the future. So what is it that you need to feel? Who is it that you need to reach out to that you haven't reached out to before? What is it that you need to balance in your life to become the person that lives the future that you want to live? What is it that you need to release that you haven't already? What is it that you need to believe about the challenging times and emotions you've been through in order to relieve those in the past, in order to create the future and become that person who's living in the future that you want? I'm hoping that makes sense. But I believe that as soon as you do that, as soon as you step into, this is how I want to feel in the future. These are the things that I want to have, and this is the reasons why I want these things are because they'll bring these emotions to me. And then stepping into feeling those things more and more on a daily basis now is how you actually bring them to you. So if you're not in that place where you can actually become the person who deserves to live the future you want to live, then it's time to clarify. It's time to get into that place of the heart and experience more self-love, and to send more self-love and forgiveness and transformation through the past so that you can step into that person that is who is living the future that you want. And I do believe that this February is the new beginning. This February is, over the next 6 months, is this time for us to co-create and balance. Balance and bring in the joy and stability and allow yourself to reach out. You don't need to be an island. And you don't need to feel like you have to go through hard work and challenging times in order to get those new beginnings. That's a thought pattern that you've been experiencing likely forever, that you do work hard, but you don't have to work hard to get everything. That's a thought. That's a belief. You can release that and allow things to come to you easier, quicker, more abundantly. I think that's all you need to know this month, Libra. And I'm excited for you because I believe that you're so ready to change things in a way that you've never done before, to experience this life in a different way that you've never done before. So I'd love to hear your comments and your questions or suggestions. You can leave them. If you want a personal reading, because these readings are obviously for all the Libras watching, sun, moon, or rising sign. So if you want a personal reading, I'll leave the information below. You can email me or contact me through my store. You can follow me on Facebook too, facebook.com/yltcoaching or yltcoaching@gmail.com. Have a beautiful rest of the month. Enjoy this new moon. Enjoy the new beginnings. And allow yourself to train your puppy, your universe, with the emotions that you're feeling right now so that your puppy is going to retrieve and fetch for you all of the things you desire. Clarifying those desires so that the puppy knows exactly what you want so that you can step into that place of becoming the person who receives what the puppy is fetching for you. Namaste. Have a beautiful month.